The syringe hovered above the fallen chestnut stallion, catching the last beam of light from the barn door. Dr. Edward Bennett's finger rested on the plunger. Then the barn door exploded inward, and a small figure with black pigtails sprinted into the gloom. She didn't slow down. She threw herself onto the straw and pressed her mouth to the stallion's ear. What passed from her lips was barely a whisper, a secret meant only for the dying horse. And then the impossible. The stallion's eyes opened. His great head lifted from the dust. Bennett's hand went slack. The syringe hit the straw with a soft thud. Tears streaked the girl's dirty cheeks as she wrapped her arms around the horse's neck.
What just happened? That horse was minutes from death.
In that sunlit stable, a trained veterinarian stood frozen, his entire professional understanding shaken. A 7-year-old girl, with a whisper, had done what medicine said was impossible. She had pulled a champion back from the edge. Dr. Bennett forced himself to move. He knelt and pressed 2 fingers to the stallion's neck, feeling a weak but steady pulse.
No euthanasia now. Not until I understand what just happened.
He pulled out his phone and dialed the lab, ignoring the protocol that demanded he follow the owner's orders.
This is Dr. Bennett. I need a full toxicology panel on a stool sample from a stallion named Trueno. Rush it.
The voice on the other end hesitated. The stallion was already marked for euthanasia.
I don't care what the chart says. Pull the sample from cold storage and run the test. I'll take full responsibility.
He's my papa's horse. You can't hurt him.
Your father. Who is your father?
Alejandro Reyes. He trained Trueno. He died last month.
Bennett forced his attention back to the horse, peeling back the bandage. The wound was infected, but something else troubled him. Heavy boots echoed outside the stall. The barn door swung open again, this time with slow, deliberate force.
Bennett, I told you to put that animal down. Why is it still breathing?
Dr. Bennett rose to his feet, blocking the horse from Harding's view.
There's been a development, Samuel. Something I can't explain yet, but I need time.
You are a vet. You were hired to follow orders, not play detective.
The screech of tires and a car door slamming outside. Then Elena Reyes burst through the door, her face a mask of panic.
Olivia, where are you? I turned away for 1 second.
Tia Elena, I am here. Don't let them hurt Trueno.
Elena dropped to her knees in the straw and pulled Olivia into a fierce embrace, tears streaming down both their faces.
Get these people out of here, Bennett, and put that horse down. I won't ask again.
Bennett stood his ground, ignoring Harding's retreating footsteps. He addressed Elena directly.
Ma'am, I am not going to do anything rash, but I need to understand why your daughter's words brought this horse back.
Before Elena could answer, Olivia pulled a dented tin from her pocket and held it out. The label read Galetas de Mama. Inside were crushed peppermint cookies, the scent sharp and sweet.
Papa always gave him one before work. It was their secret.
Your father trained this stallion? What happened to him?
He fell at the ranch. The doctor said his heart stopped.
In Olivia's mind, she saw her father's gentle hands offering a cookie to the eager stallion.
The whisper wasn't a spell, it was a memory of safety.
Yet the veterinary chart listed an intestinal blockage. No cookie scent could dissolve a lethal obstruction. Something in that barn, in that horse's body, was a lie. Bennett strode to the ranch office, ignoring the questioning looks from the hands outside. He pulled Trueno's medical file from the cabinet.
The paperwork is threadbare. No imaging, no detailed palpation, just a handwritten note. Inoperable blockage.
He found a stable hand washing tack behind the barn. The man's eyes darted nervously when Bennett approached.
You work the night feeds. Has anyone been in the barn who shouldn't be?
The hand glanced toward the main house, then whispered that a man named Webb had been in the feed room after midnight. More than once, he added that the horses grew restless when Webb came near, and that the man had asked strange questions about the stallion's value.
Marcus Webb, Harding's new partner. He's been pushing for the euthanasia from day one.
Bennett thanked the hand and watched him hurry away. The silence between them had been louder than any confession. Back in the office, he scrawled Webb's name on a notepad. The circumstantial evidence was piling up, but without lab results, it was just suspicion.
If the blockage is a lie, this isn't just about a horse. It's something far worse.
Bennett's phone buzzed the lab. He stepped outside the office, out of earshot.
What did you find?
The technician's voice was strained. There are metabolites I don't recognize. I need to send it to the state lab for a full toxin panel. It'll take a day. Before Bennett could respond, the ranch office door swung open. Harding stood there, jaw tight. We need to talk, now. Webb is waiting. Inside, Marcus Webb sat behind Harding's desk, a thin smile on his face, his fingers steepled.
Dr. Bennett, I hear you've been asking questions. Let me be clear, that Stallion is a financial liability. The euthanasia is not optional.
I am not signing off until I have a full diagnosis. Something doesn't add up.
Perhaps you are not thinking of your career. A vet who defies a client's explicit instructions can find himself uninsurable.
Bennett felt the threat like a cold hand on his neck, but he didn't look away.
He just confirmed my suspicion. There's more at stake here than one animal.
Bennett wasted no time after the meeting. He collected a fresh stool sample, sealed it himself, and went straight to the courier.
I want a full heavy metal and toxin panel on this sample. Use my personal account. No one at the ranch knows.
Then he dialed Detective Laura Mendez, an old friend from a previous animal cruelty case.
Laura, I think I've stumbled onto a deliberate poisoning. A stallion worth a fortune, a new business partner, pushing for euthanasia. It doesn't add up.
Mendez listened carefully and promised to pull property records and look into Webb's financials immediately. As Bennett hung up, the stable door burst open again. Olivia stood there, chest heaving, her eyes wild with fear.
Dr. Bennett, I heard Mr. Webb yelling at Mr. Harding. He said the insurance won't pay unless the horse is put down. He said it has to happen tonight.
Insurance fraud. That's the motive. He's poisoning the horse for a payout. Olivia, you must stay away from that man. He's dangerous. Where's your aunt?
He found Elena in the stall and pulled her aside. Take Olivia home. Lock the doors. Don't let anyone in until I call. As Elena's car disappeared down the gravel drive, the barn fell quiet. Then a floorboard creaked behind Bennett.
You are a persistent man, Dr. Bennett, but persistence can be expensive. How much to drop this investigation and do your job?
There's no price. I took an oath to protect animals, not enrich criminals.
Criminals? That's a dangerous word. You have no idea what you are meddling in.
Webb's expression hardened. In one motion, he grabbed Bennett by the lapels and shoved him against the stall door. A shadow moved behind Webb, the stable hand from earlier. He caught Webb's wrist and twisted it free. The hand's voice was quiet as dry hay. You've got 5 seconds to leave. I'll remember everything I saw. Webb yanked his hand free, his sneer faltering. You'll regret this, both of you. Then he vanished into the night.
Thank you. That was brave. I need you to write down everything you just witnessed. It could save lives. Webb knows the clock is ticking. Once those lab results come in, his whole scheme unravels.
The call came at first light. State Lab, Toxicology Division. Arsenic, chronic, low-dose exposure over weeks. Not a blockage, deliberate poisoning.
He'd seen many things in his career, but never cold-blooded murder dressed as colic.
Within the hour, Detective Mendez stood with him in the stable, her case file already thick with financial records.
Trueno's insurance policy, $500,000 payable on death. Initiated 4 months ago, right after Webb partnered with Harding.
Handwritten note. No imaging, no detailed palpation, The original diagnosis was fabricated.
Webb's debts match the payout exactly, and if the stallion dies, a forced sale clause triggers. He gets controlling share of the ranch.
He's been slowly killing the horse to trigger the sale and collect the insurance.
Mendez unfolded a ranch map, marking the feed room where Webb had been seen. We have warrants, but if he destroys the evidence first...
We go tonight. Can you be my witness?
I'll be there, and I won't let him hurt anyone else.
This is priority 1. The feed bins, the supplement barrels, and the floorboards. Move. If there's evidence, we find it tonight.
As deputies pried up wooden slats, a memory flashed. Webb in the same room, tipping a vial into a bucket. The stable hand had been right. Miles down the highway, Webb sat in a cheap motel, sweating. His phone buzzed, a text from a ranch hand. Police here. They're inside.
That's it. Get a field test kit.
In Webb's quarters, another deputy pulled a folder from under the mattress. Insurance forms, payout schedules, and a calendar marking the stallion's decline.
We've got him. Issue the warrant.
On her radio, she called for units to Webb's location. Bennett watched the blue lights flicker on the map. In the motel, Webb grabbed his bag. Too late. Through the window, red and blue lights painted the walls. Bennett stood in the feed room, the vial now sealed in an evidence bag. The trap had sprung. Webb slipped out the motel bathroom window, leaving his bag behind. He stole a truck and drove blindly back toward the ranch. In the stable, Elena had finally given in. Olivia sat clutching Trueno's neck, his breathing steadier now.
Where's Bennett? No one leaves until that horse is dead.
He yanked Elena by the arm, dragging her out of the stall. Olivia screamed, but Webb pressed the gun to her aunt's temple. Olivia shrank into the shadows behind a hay bale, her heart pounding, but her eyes never left the horse. Outside, Bennett and Mendez pulled up to the stolen truck. "He's inside," Bennett whispered.
Bennett, I know you are out there. I'll kill her if anyone comes in.
Trueno, help us! Galetas de Mama, please.
The stallion's head lifted high. A low, guttural nicker rumbled through the barn. Webb spun around. The gun wavered. In that split second, the entire room changed. From the shadows, Olivia stepped out, the dented tin clutched in both hands. Her voice shook but didn't break.
Let my tia go. Take this. My father hid his money in this tin. It's yours if you let her go.
You are lying. A child's trick.
She shook the tin, and the sharp scent of peppermint cut through the stable air, a smell Webb recognized from his night feed raids. Webb's eyes flickered with greed. He shoved Elena away and snatched the tin, his gun hand dropping.
Now, Trueno, ahora.
The stallion let out a thunderous neigh and rose onto his hind legs, hooves slicing the air, inches from Webb's head. The pistol clattered to the floor. 2 officers surged through the door and drove Webb into the straw. Bennett rushed to Olivia and Elena, pulling them into a tight embrace as Detective Mendez clicked the handcuffs onto Webb's wrists. The nightmare had ended, but the trembling sobs of a little girl who had faced a killer with nothing but a peppermint tin and a whisper would echo in that barn for a long time. In the stark interrogation room, Detective Mendez slid the sealed arsenic vial across the table. Webb's arrogance had vanished.
The vial, your fingerprints, the insurance forms. It's over, Webb. No more running.
Circumstantial. No one saw me do it. You've got nothing.
Then let's talk about another accident. A trainer named Alejandro Reyes. You remember him?
Webb's eyes fixed on the image. Sweat beaded on his temple.
A stable hand saw you messing with the girth strap. The fall severed his aorta. It wasn't a heart attack, it was murder.
Webb's fist slammed the table twice. Then he slumped, voice cracking like old leather.
He caught me doctoring the feed. I grabbed his arm. He tripped. I didn't plan it.
Through the one-way glass, Dr. Bennett stood rigid. the truth of his friend's death finally laid bare. The arrest warrant for poisoning was now a murder charge. Justice, delayed but not denied, would finally reach Alejandro Reyes. At first light, Samuel Harding climbed the office steps, his face creased with shame. Bennett looked up from his notes.
Dr. Bennett, I didn't know. Webb played me for a fool. Can you ever forgive me?
Forgiveness isn't mine to give, Samuel, but I'll help you put the ranch right for Alejandro.
In the bunkhouse, Olivia placed a peppermint cookie beneath her father's photograph, her small fingers trembling.
I did it, Papa. The bad man is gone. Trueno is going to be okay.
Elena joined her on the porch swing, wrapping an arm around her as the ranch hands slowly returned to work. Outside, the gathered hands murmured in low tones, a silent agreement that the nightmare had lifted. Bennett extended his hand. Harding took it, his grip trembling. "I owe you everything," Harding said.
The ranch would survive, but with Webb gone and Alejandro dead, who would lead it now?
The sun set over the Sonora ranch, but the question of ownership and of Olivia's future hung in the cooling air. A dust-covered sedan rolled up the ranch drive the next afternoon. A man in a gray suit stepped out, clutching a sealed envelope. He requested an urgent meeting with Elena Reyes. Dr. Bennett and Samuel Harding gathered in the office as the envelope was opened. The document was titled Last Will and Testament of Alejandro Reyes. A notary seal glinted under the lamp. The lawyer's fingers traced a clause buried deep in the contract. Harding's face leached of color as the words sank in.
He owned a third of this place? Alejandro, why didn't he ever say anything?
He signed over a portion of the ranch to Alejandro 10 years ago as part of his contract. It's right here, Samuel.
The will stated that Olivia Reyes was the sole beneficiary. Her inheritance included her father's 1/3 stake, making her the youngest registered ranch owner in the state.
What does that mean? Am I supposed to live here now?
The lawyer laid a heavy key beside the ink-signed papers. "This belongs to the Reyes estate now," he said quietly.
A 7-year-old holds the future of this entire ranch. This was Alejandro's final gift.
The lawyer read the will aloud in the ranch office. The key stakeholders gathered in a tense circle. "I, Alejandro Reyes, bequeath all my worldly possessions and my 1/3 share of this ranch to my daughter, Olivia Reyes." A stunned silence filled the room. At 7 years old, Olivia Reyes was now the youngest registered ranch owner in the state.
She didn't know what bequeath meant, but Tia Elena was crying happy tears, so she stayed very still.
I made a mistake trusting Webb, but I won't make another one. Elena, Olivia, you have my word. We'll run this ranch together the right way.
Thank you, Samuel. For Alejandro, we will.
This is what Alejandro would have wanted. Now his daughter can grow up on the land he loved.
Trueno, did you hear? We get to stay forever.
For the first time since her father's death, Olivia smiled, but the ranch's new chapter had only just begun. That afternoon, she sat in the hay with Trueno's head in her lap, whispering her secret phrase. Not to save him this time, but to celebrate. Within days, the story made headlines. Child Whisperer saves champion Stallion, unmasks murder plot. Trueno's recovery was nothing short of miraculous. The ranch hosted a small celebration. Under the old cottonwood, Detective Mendez pinned a commendation on Dr. Bennett's coat.
To the man who refused to follow orders when it counted. Thank you, Edward.
Then the barn doors slid open. On his own 4 unsteady but determined legs, Trueno walked out, Olivia at his side.
Look, he's walking. He's really walking.
With a boost from Bennett, Olivia climbed onto Trueno's bare back, her first ride since he was poisoned. The gathered crowd fell silent.
That whisper saved more than a horse. It saved a family, a ranch, and maybe even a part of myself.
Papa, I am riding Trueno again. I hope you can see us.
And as the sun dipped below the Sonora hills, the promise of that whisper came full circle. The girl, the horse, and the land were finally safe. But the story of Trueno and Olivia was only beginning, a legacy born from a whisper and a tin of peppermint cookies. A few weeks passed. The ranch office, once filled with suspicion, now hummed with quiet collaboration. Elena Reyes and Samuel Harding reviewed budgets side by side.
The vet clinic will be ready by Monday. Dr. Bennett agreed to stay on permanently.
In his new clinic, Bennett unboxed his equipment. A family photo of the Reyeses now pinned to his corkboard.
A place to heal horses and people. This is where I was meant to be.
Each morning, Olivia took a peppermint cookie from the tin and placed it on her father's grave. Then she'd run to the barn.
Good morning, Trueno. I learned 5 new words today. Do you want to hear them?
The stallion nuzzled her hair, his great body fully healed, his trust in her absolute.
Your father would be so proud, mija. You and Trueno are keeping his dream alive.
I know, Tia. That's why I whispered the cookie name. It was his magic.
And on that swing, under the wide Texas sky, the ranch found its new rhythm. A harmony built on peppermint, memory, and a little girl's timeless bond with her horse. 1 year later, the ranch gathered under the cottonwood, where a new stone marker read, Alejandro Reyes, trainer, father, friend. Olivia, now 8, stepped forward with a peppermint cookie in her palm. Her dress was still yellow, her pigtails still tied with pink.
For you, Papa. We still use your magic every day.
After the ceremony, the ranch threw open its gates for the first Trueno Foundation charity ride, drawing donors from 3 counties. Donations poured in to rescue horses in crisis. The foundation's logo, a peppermint cookie beside a stallion silhouette.
From a near-death syringe to a foundation that saves dozens. Not a bad legacy for a cookie tin.
The photo on his desk was now joined by a child's drawing, a chestnut horse with a yellow stick figure girl. Every night, Olivia still whispered into Trueno's ear, not out of fear, but out of love. And the peppermint tin, now empty, but never discarded, sat on a shelf in her room, a relic of the day she saved a life. On the anniversary, Bennett stood alone by the cottonwood, his hand resting on the stone. The whisper had echoed far beyond the barn. A local news crew visited the ranch. Dr. Bennett sat in the clinic, the Galetas de Mama teen open on his desk.
In 40 years of practice, no textbook ever told me to listen to a child's whisper. That was my mistake.
He pulled a smaller tin from his vet bag, its label faded but still legible. A daily reminder to trust the unexplainable. Just then, Olivia appeared in the doorway, clutching a paper to her chest.
Dr. Bennett, I drew this for you. It's Trueno and me, but I made you in the picture too.
The crayon drawing showed a chestnut horse, a yellow stick figure girl, and a bald man in a blue coat standing beside them.
This will go in the frame, next to Alejandro, where it belongs.
Later, as the sun sank low, Olivia rode Trueno bareback through the paddock, her laughter carrying on the evening breeze.
Faster, Trueno! Papa is watching!
And as the golden light washed over the paddock, the old vet finally understood. Some cures come not from a syringe, but from a little girl's unwavering belief. The Galetas de Mama teen rested on the kitchen shelf, its peppermint scent a quiet memory. In the stable, a brass nameplate gleamed above Trueno's stall. Champion, saved by a whisper. His dark eye, once clouded by poison, now reflected the unwavering love of the child who saved him. Each afternoon, a peppermint cookie passed from a small hand to his waiting muzzle. The secret 3 words had become a promise whispered into his ear at day's end. Her hand against his muzzle was all the proof she needed that magic was real. In the clinic, a faded cookie tin sat next to a child's drawing of 3 figures in golden light.
That tin, that whisper, that girl, they taught me more about healing than any textbook ever could.
Through the clinic window, he watched Olivia and Trueno race across the paddock, her laughter ringing like a bell. And when the sun dipped low, A small hand rested on a great muzzle, and the only sound was a whisper, "Galetas de Mama." And as the old vet would tell you, some mornings are heavier with meaning than others, charged with the echoes of lives reclaimed. Before the world fully stirred, the girl walked to the stable, her small tin of peppermint cookies rattling softly in her pocket. She pressed her palm to the warm muzzle, and the horse's dark eyes closed in a trust so absolute it needed no words.
We made it. Torino. Papa is watching.
The whisper that had once pulled a champion from the brink now sealed an unbreakable promise. And as the sun broke over the Sonora hills, the world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the sound that had become legend.
Galletas de Mama.
A gentle nicker answered, deep and resonant, carrying across the paddock like a prayer answered. In memory of Alejandro Reyes, whisper, trust, love. The truest cures for any wound the world can give.